Jazz is more than just music, it's a story, it's a feeling, it's a language that speaks to the soul, a rhythm that moves the heart. Jazz is an experience that transcends the notes on a page, a living, breathing entity that evolves with every performance. It's a rebellion born from the depths of struggle and the heights of human expression. It's a cry for freedom, a declaration of identity, and a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. From its humble beginnings in the fields and churches of the American South, jazz has become a global phenomenon. It started as the voice of the oppressed, a way for enslaved Africans to express their pain and hope. Over time it grew, absorbing influences from various cultures and evolving into a complex and rich art form. It has broken down barriers and transcended cultures. Jazz has brought people together regardless of their background, creating a universal language that speaks to everyone. This is the story of that journey, a journey from slavery to the Grammy stages of the world. It's a journey marked by struggle, innovation, and triumph. Jazz emerged from a convergence of musical traditions, blending the rich rhythms of Africa with the structured harmonies of Europe. This fusion created something entirely new and unique, African rhythms blending with European harmonies. This blend gave birth to a new sound, a sound that was both familiar and revolutionary. This unique fusion found its voice in the hearts of the oppressed. It became a way for them to communicate their deepest emotions, their sorrows, and their joys. Through music, enslaved Africans found solace, expressed their pain, and celebrated their resilience. Jazz was their voice, their means of survival, and their way of asserting their humanity. This music was a testament to the indomitable spirit of a people. Jazz is about improvisation, it's about taking what you have and making something beautiful out of it. It's about freedom within structure. Jazz musicians follow certain rules, but within those rules they have the freedom to express themselves in unique and personal ways. It's about individual expression within a collective conversation. Each musician brings their own voice to the table, creating a rich tapestry of sound. It's a conversation between musicians. They listen to each other, respond, and build on each other's ideas, creating something greater than the sum of its parts. It's a conversation between the music and the audience. The audience's energy feeds the musicians, and the musician's passion ignites the audience. And it's a conversation that continues to evolve to this day. Jazz is ever-changing, ever-growing, and always pushing the boundaries of what music can be. To understand jazz, we must first understand its roots. These roots lie in the rhythmic traditions of West Africa. Enslaved Africans brought with them these musical traditions. They used music to connect with their heritage and to endure the hardships of slavery. These rhythms found expression in work songs, spirituals, and field hollers. Work songs helped to synchronize labor and ease the burden of toil. Spirituals offered hope and solace, looking towards a brighter future. Field hollers were soulful cries of pain, longing, and resistance. These musical forms blended with European musical traditions. Instruments like the violin and the banjo were incorporated into the musical landscape. This fusion of cultures created fertile ground for the birth of a new musical form, jazz. New Orleans, at the turn of the 20th century, became the cradle of jazz. The city was a melting pot of cultures, where African, Caribbean, European, and Latin American influences converged to create a unique musical landscape. The city's vibrant and diverse musical culture provided the perfect setting for this new sound to emerge. Street performers, brass bands, and piano players filled the air with melodies that would soon evolve into jazz. In the heart of New Orleans lay Storyville, the city's red light district. This area was notorious for its nightlife and was a hub for musicians looking to make a name for themselves. Musicians in Storyville played in brothels, dance halls, and saloons. These venues provided a space where they could experiment with new sounds and styles, blending different musical traditions. They entertained diverse crowds, blending ragtime, blues, and brass band music. This fusion of genres laid the groundwork for what would become known as jazz. Among these pioneers was Buddy Bolden, a cornetist known for his powerful sound and improvisational skills. Bolden's innovative approach to music set him apart from his contemporaries. He is often credited as the first true jazz musician. His ability to improvise and his charismatic performances left a lasting impact on the genre. In 1917, the original Dixieland Jazz Band, a group of white musicians from New Orleans, made the first jazz recording. This recording brought jazz to a national audience and marked a significant milestone in the genre's history. This event marked a turning point, bringing jazz from the streets of New Orleans to a wider audience. Jazz began to spread to other cities, influencing musicians and captivating listeners across the country. However, the recording also sparked controversy, as many felt it did not accurately represent the true essence of jazz, which was rooted in black musical traditions. The debate highlighted the complexities of cultural appropriation and the importance of recognizing the contributions of black musicians to the development of jazz. The 1920s witnessed the rise of jazz legends who would shape the music for generations to come. Among them were Louis Armstrong, a master trumpeter with a dazzling technique and infectious charisma. His improvisations were groundbreaking, pushing the boundaries of melodic invention. Another giant of this era was Duke Ellington, a composer, pianist, and bandleader whose sophisticated compositions and arrangements elevated jazz to new heights. His orchestra featured some of the most talented musicians of the time, creating a rich and complex sound that became synonymous with the elegance and grandeur of the jazz age. These innovators established jazz as a major force in American music. They influenced countless musicians and paved the way for the evolution of jazz into new and exciting forms. Section 5. Bebop, a revolution in rhythm and harmony. In the 1940s, a new generation of jazz musicians emerged, seeking to break free from the conventions of swing music. They developed bebop, a style characterized by its fast tempos, complex harmonies, and improvisations based on chord progressions rather than melodies. Charlie Parker, a virtuoso saxophonist, and Dizzy Gillespie, a gifted trumpeter and bandleader, were at the forefront of this revolution. Their virtuosity and innovative spirit pushed the boundaries of jazz, creating a challenging and intellectually stimulating style that demanded both technical mastery and improvisational genius. Bebop was not without its critics. Some found it too abstract and difficult to follow. However, it was a testament to the constant evolution of jazz, a music that refused to be confined by tradition and continued to explore new sonic landscapes. Section 6. Jazz around the world, from Paris to Bombay. Jazz, with its message of freedom and improvisation, resonated far beyond the borders of the United States. It was more than just music. It was a cultural movement that spoke to the soul of people everywhere. The rhythms and melodies of jazz carried with them a sense of liberation and creativity that transcended language and geography. It found a receptive audience in Europe, particularly in France, where musicians like Django Reinhardt and Stéphane Grappelli were already exploring jazz-influenced styles. These pioneers of European jazz brought their own unique flair to the genre, blending traditional European musical elements with the improvisational spirit of American jazz. In the post-war era, American jazz musicians found a warm welcome in Europe, where they were appreciated for their artistry and cultural significance. The exchange of musical ideas between American and European artists led to a rich and dynamic evolution of jazz on the continent. Jazz festivals sprang up across the continent, and European musicians developed their own unique interpretations of the music, blending American influences with their own cultural traditions. These festivals became a melting pot of creativity, where artists from different backgrounds could collaborate and inspire each other. Jazz also made its way to other parts of the world, influencing musicians in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Each region embraced jazz in its own way, incorporating local instruments and styles to create new and exciting variations of the genre. In India, Bollywood composer R.D. Burman incorporated elements of jazz into his film scores, creating a unique and captivating sound that blended Eastern and Western musical sensibilities. His innovative approach not only enriched Bollywood music but also introduced jazz to a wider audience, showcasing the genre's versatility and universal appeal. Section 7. Michel Legrand, a French maestro, embraces jazz. Michel Legrand, a French composer, arranger, conductor, and pianist, may not be the first name that comes to mind when we think of jazz. Known for his lush orchestral scores for films like The Umbrellas of Cherbourg and Summer of '42, Legrand's musical world seemed far removed from the smoky jazz clubs of New York City. However, Legrand had a deep love for jazz and collaborated with some of the genre's greatest names, including Miles Davis, Stan Getz, and Sarah Vaughan. He arranged and conducted for these jazz legends, bringing his own unique orchestral sensibility to their music. He bridged the gap between classical music and jazz, demonstrating the universality of musical expression. Section 8. Modern Jazz Fusion and Innovation. Jazz continued to evolve throughout the latter half of the 20th century and into the 21st. Musicians experimented with new sounds, incorporating elements of rock, funk, and world music into the jazz vocabulary. This fusion of genres resulted in exciting new styles like jazz fusion, led by artists like Herbie Hancock and Chick Corea. Modern jazz artists like Kamasi Washington continue to push the boundaries of the genre, drawing inspiration from a wide range of musical influences and creating music that is both innovative and deeply rooted in the jazz tradition. Section 9. The Unwritten Legacy of a Jazz Legend. Michel Legrand, despite his profound impact on the world of music, could not read music. He composed and arranged entirely by ear, dictating his complex orchestral scores to assistants who would transcribe them onto paper. This surprising fact reveals the depth of Legrand's musicality. It underscores the intuitive and improvisational nature of music itself. Jazz at its core is about listening, feeling, and responding to the musical moment. Legrand's legacy serves as a reminder that the most important instrument in music is not the one we hold in our hands, but the one that resides within our hearts and minds.